Welcome to Should I Move There, Relocation Nation. We are looking forward to this episode today. We are going to be talking about Hamilton, Ontario, which is right across from Toronto in Canada. And today our guest is Fernando Ferrari, and I'm your guide, Brian. Fernando, thank you so much for being on the channel today.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here and be sharing a little bit of this jewel of city that not many people know, especially in the US, right? But we've seen a lot of people moving here, and that would be good if more people they know about this city.
Nice, awesome. And how long have you been in the area for, and what do you do for work?
Yes, I do real estate for a living. My background is in architecture. I'm originally from Argentina. I moved to Canada about 33 years ago. So I moved originally to Toronto, and then work took me to Hamilton. If work didn't take me to Hamilton, probably I would never discover this place. And I live in Burlington, which is between Toronto and Hamilton, which is a beautiful city beside the lake as well. And then I stay in Hamilton for the last 15 years. I've been doing real estate. I've been flipping homes for about 25 years. And over a decade ago, I got the real estate license. And since then, I've been just doing real estate, helping people with their investments, building their portfolio. And about 40%, 50%, I deal with residential buying and selling as well. I have a very good loyal clientele now, majority from referrals, and that's what I've been doing. And just been very busy doing that stuff. I have a small team here in Hamilton, and we call it Ferrari Realtors. Yeah, we're doing okay.
Awesome. Let's start with number one on the list, which is home affordability. Dive into this, Fernando, for us.
Okay, awesome. So yes, I think the number one reason why people should move to Hamilton is because the home affordability. So in Toronto, we have homes at $1 million level, and here we can buy a nice detached home in the mountain, which is one of the best areas, for about $699 now. So I think that would be number one at the list for me.
Yeah, that's actually that's like night and day compared to Toronto. Why is Toronto so much more expensive than like the Hamilton area? But you guys aren't very far from another.
Well, it's not, but it is. It's about probably 70 kilometers. So we have about 45 minutes, 50 minutes with traffic in the morning. Maybe it could be an hour plus. And you have a tremendous amount of industry and all the work force is in Toronto, right? Being such a big city. So that is the reason, really.
Got it. Awesome. Okay, let's go to number two, which is it's the location for commuters.
Yes, exactly. So being homes a little more affordable, then people can move here, as you mentioned before. It's not as huge of a distance. So if you can save $300,000, $400,000 and stay renting, you can own the house. Might as well move to Hamilton, and then you can commute. So the commuting, again, we say it's about 45 minutes to Toronto, but not everybody works in Toronto. We have other cities, big cities like Oak Cliff, Mississauga, which is mega places for big industries as well. So commuting is key, and we can commute to Niagara area too, which is opposite, right? Now going towards Buffalo. I know people they work in Buffalo and they live here in Hamilton.
So they just cross the border every day, pretty much.
Correct. Exactly.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Then with the US dollar being a little stronger, so they earn in dollars and then they live in Canada.
Exactly. That's really important.
That's smart. All right. Another pro you have on your list is the schools.
Yes. I put it as a number 3 schools because we have such a tremendous attraction international for these schools. We have private schooling being the top one, Hillfield, and then we have a college very international renowned as Moha College. Moha College is we have a lot of international students, and a lot of people, they want to move to Canada. They come to Mohawk College because they know if they enroll in a 2 years program, they can actually extend the visa and probably apply for residency. So this is really, really important for new immigrants. And then we have an international university, which is an academy university as well. It's a university. McMaster is a hospital university. And we have tremendous talents coming from all over the world coming to work at McMaster as well.
Awesome. And that's a really good point about people being able to immigrate into the country through the top universities or through the schools. That's interesting. That's amazing. Yeah, schools are important. I think so, wherever you live. But let's go into number 4, which is hospitals.
Number 4, I put the hospital. There is something called the Hamilton network of hospitals, and include 7 hospitals, and from cancer treatment to cardiovascular treatments, and all work in sync. And then they have the kids hospital as well, which is the McMaster Hospital as well. So the hospital system is really phenomenal. Nothing is more than 5-10 minutes. Even if you have an emergency, whatever, you would be in an ambulance in about 5-15 minutes. You'll be in the hospital. So this is really, really great about Hamilton.
So in Canada, you guys have universal healthcare, right?
We have universal healthcare, so we don't have to pay. Well, we pay indirectly, if you will. That would be probably a podcast for another 45 minutes episode if we want to talk about that. But yes, we have universal healthcare. We don't have private health medicine here. Right.
So that is super interesting. Which is good. It's good and it's bad. I guess it depends on your view out there. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Yes, and or if you want us to talk about that on a separate episode. So let's move on to number 5, which is the trails and parks.
Yes, Hamilton is known for its famous waterfalls. I think we are like a top 3 for the most amount of waterfalls in North America. Being one of the most well-known is the Tiffany Falls, Webster Falls as well. And then we are, I put together the trails and the waterfalls because that is all together with parks that we have as well. We have tremendous trails that they connect with the Bruce Trail, one of the longest trails in North America as well, and connecting different cities. So you can go on a bike for 40 kilometers if you like, or 50 or 60 or 80 kilometers. So it's unlimited. So that is something that's really spectacular about Hamilton.
That's awesome. Amazing. Okay. All these things sound really great. Incredible trails, hospitals, schools, location-wise, affordability. Let's go into the cons of living in the area. Fernando, give us.
Yes, I think, again, this is something that when you talk to somebody from Toronto, it's just, why do you live in Hamilton? Why would you want to live in Hamilton? Because the air is so polluted. And this is because Hamilton is been named a steel city after also many steel manufacturers here, right? And because Hamilton was a port city, all these boats, they were coming to pick up the steel to take it away, right, over the Atlantic. So it was a bad reputation about the pollution that these steel companies they were producing. So that's probably one of the cons, and I put it as the first one because everybody knows about this. It's a very well-known one.
Okay, so the air's. Do you feel that the air is polluted though when you walk outside, or like how does?
No, not at all. First of all, because I live in the mountain. Remember, we are in the Niagara Escarpment, so we have a tremendous amount of forestation. So it acts as a little buffer for what's coming from downtown. So we are a little bit far away from them, probably 15 kilometers or something like that. I don't feel it at all. You can see going down the mountain, the big flames from the factories close to the lake. And I believe the lake was very polluted at some point, and they've been working in the last 10-15 years to clean this. At one point, I think you wouldn't even be able to walk in the water, right? But now you're okay.
Got it. Okay. Number 2 on your list, which you have
Yes, number
downtown.
yeah. So one of the big kind of shocks, if you will, is that Hamilton had such an amazing buildings, and we have a lot of movies made in downtown because a lot of areas that look like New York and apartments and buildings. So actually, the infrastructure and geometry and all these buildings are amazing. But all the social services are there as well. So we have a lot of homeless in downtown Hamilton, and people don't go with their families for a walk, for a stroll in downtown. No, even though it has gone through a renaissance and a revival through very good builders that they really love the city. So all the new restaurants are coming up. So I think it's going through a transformation. I don't know how long it's going to take. It would be very ambitious of me saying in the next year or 2 or 3, probably in the next decade or 2. But definitely, I think they are in a good path of cleaning and making Hamilton look the way it's supposed to do.
Got it. I mean, here in Los Angeles, we are no strangers to homelessness being everywhere, everywhere, literally. But I guess like here in Los Angeles, we're like, man, this problem has just been here forever, quote unquote, like 50 years. You know, it's not like this didn't happen overnight. Is it the same like in your area in Hamilton, or is it just more of a newer phenomenon?
No, this has been going on for a little while, of course. And again, because all the social services offices are in downtown. So these people, they need to be close to these areas. And the real estate is so bad there because, I mean, the beautiful homes, these big Victorian homes, 3 floors, and they're falling apart because, I mean, the people that live inside are people that they live in the streets, and they are all in social assistance from the government, right? So the government paid directly these landlords, so that creates a catch-22. How the owner's going to renovate if you cannot improve in rent, something like that.
Yeah, no, that we kind of feel the same pain here, where it's like, how do we solve this? This is kind of we tried throwing money at it and it's not working. So maybe we should try something else. But let's move on to the third con on your list.
Yes, as the third, I put the income. Because Hamilton has a lot of factories and we have a lot of blue collar. So the level of income per capita is a lot less than Toronto. So we have right now, I think the average is about 50 to 58,000 per year per person. And in Toronto, we are about at the 70,000 level. So obviously you have the 25,000, which is a big number. But again, people put themselves in the position: should I pay $1 million for a house, or should I pay 600,000? Should I make 50,000? Should I make 70,000? So it's all work in balance. If you come to the last number, final number, that your net, what is important, right? To make the 70,000 and live in a very much more expensive life, or live in Hamilton and everything's a little less, right? So that's what it is. That's why I put it here. I think it's really important for people to take that. If you have a white-collar job and you work for IBM or one of these companies, I mean, you will commute and you will work. And if you make $250,000, you're still going to commute anyway. Who cares? So we have a train system, which is phenomenal. So it's good.
Okay, let's talk about that train system real fast. So like what we talked about it a little bit earlier, but how long does that typically take? Like if you're commuting from Hamilton to Toronto?
Yes, Hamilton and the station is in Hamilton downtown, and the train will take about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and the trains are superb. It's called the GO train, and it's very, very comfortable, double decker. You have internet aboard. There are very high quality of seats, and it's very smooth ride. So really, people take the time to work. People work on that 45 minutes. You're not wasting any time. And the system is very good. Every 10, 15, 20 minutes, you have trains. So that's phenomenal.
Nice. Okay, so it's totally possible to do the commute. Like it's not
absolutely.
Yeah, like here, like people make a commute from the desert into like downtown LA, and it's horrible because it's an hour and a half of traffic both ways, up to 2 hours, and it's just the quality of life.
No.
Yeah.
no, we are not at that level yet.
Yeah. No. Okay. Great. Well, that's good. Let's move on to the fourth one.
Number 4. Okay, this is a personal one. So probably a little bias here because being from Argentina, I hate the -20, -30. So I think the Hamilton weather is not optimal for some people, especially if you like the warmth. I mean, we have 4 seasons, but winters could be really harsh. We have temperature going from 0 to -20, -25 sometimes. And we got to go January, February, or March. So right now we're really lucky. We are November, rainy, maybe 10 degrees, which is really okay to me. But now when I do 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of -10, -15, it starts to get in your nerves a little bit. We have a lot of ice storms, and the traffic gets a little annoying with ice. So that's why I put it here as number 4. I think it's something that people, when they get to a certain age, they would have to kind of, if you want a better weather, you would have to move to Florida. We have, as you know, we have a lot of snowbirds, they call them, and they move to Florida, right?
Okay. Yes, there are a lot of snowbirds from Canada. I see why. Yeah, because the winters are harder and stuff.
Yeah.
But let's go number 5 on your list. You have traffic. Talk about like how traffic is. We talked a little about the train. You guys have public transportation, but if you are to be driving a car,
Yes. So the traffic is something that is hand in hand with the weather, because when the weather is bad in the winter, all the highways and on the pavement suffers. So then we have a lot of construction during the summer month. So I think that is one of the big problems that we have. So because so much construction in the summer, it makes it very, very complicated to make this happen, right?
That makes sense. Of like a certain, it's just based on the season where you
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's the reason. We have a couple highways in the mountain going downtown, and it's only two lanes. So if one of those lanes gets stuck, then it's all over. It's about an hour to go downtown.
Got it. That makes sense. So we just to recap, we talked about cost of living. What's typical cost to like rent a house in the area for?
Yes, to rent a house in Hamilton, it goes between the $2,000 mark to probably 45 mark, and it's such a big range, just because we have 2 areas. Remember, we have downtown and we have the mountain. So in downtown area is a little more affordable, and in the mountain we have areas which are really, really very phenomenal areas to live, and white collar people renting there. So you can have some big house, 3,000-4,000 square feet home. You can rent it for $4,500, $5,000 a month, right? So a typical townhouse in the mountain will go for about $3,000 right now. It went up significantly since last year. I mean, probably last year you could rent something for about $2,600, and now the shortage of inventory make everything go up, right?
Yep, got it. Let's talk a little about the culture of living in Hamilton and in Canada in general. If you were to describe the Canadian culture, how would you describe it?
Yes, Hamilton has probably one of the most diversified cultures. We see here, my neighbors, I would say no one is from the same country, like absolutely diversified. The visible minority has doubled in the last 2 decades. So almost 20% of the population, so around 100,000. So we never touch base in these, but Hamilton has a population of 579,000 people.
Got it. Okay. So a little over.
Let's do this again. Let's do this again because your microphone was where the noise was in.
Yeah. Okay.
So one thing that we didn't touch, we didn't talk about it, was the population. And Hamilton has around 580,000 people. So out of that number, about 100,000 they are a visible minority. Among these groups, the largest groups are Asians, Black, Chinese, Arabs, and Latin America.
Oh.
like myself.
Yeah. We're like, what's up?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, when I went to Toronto in Canada, I was like, I did notice the diversity. I was like, wow, this is very diverse. And I live in Los Angeles, so it's, you know, like diverse here, but it's just like a different flavor of diversity. I don't know how to say it, but you guys have
I know
a lot of people from everywhere. It's like,
yeah, and I understand you've been you know, getting that understanding of the culture, because when I came to Canada 33 years ago, I mean, where I'm coming from is only Argentinian people. So I only knew Argentinian people that knew Argentinian people. Everybody's the same culture, the same food, the same habits, the same everything, right?
Yep.
So when I landed here, it was really, really shocking for me. I said, oh my God, this is incredible. This is good. I love it.
yeah, this has been so great. We really appreciate you. We're going to throw your information down below and up top. But yeah, that's it for today. Relocation Nation, thanks for listening, and check out the next video.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.